Hi, my name's Lynda Gaiao and welcome to the monthly overview for June. We're going to take a little bit of a dive into what to expect in the upcoming month in terms of the different transits, the solar transits, and how those energies might affect you as we move through the month of June. So when we're looking at the mandala wheel with the body graph in the center, we are traveling anti-clockwise around the wheel in the solar movement. And in the month of June, we're going to transition through progress, gathering together, caution, diversity, and stillness. So let's find out a little bit more about these particular gates and traits, and also what quarter in the wheel they're in. So in the month of May, we actually moved into the quarter of civilization. And in June, we're going to continue in the quarter of civilization. And this is where life purpose is fulfilled through physical form. So it's about experiencing the physical form. And this can be through building or creating structures, products, communities. And all of the traits in this quarter have a very material or down-to-earth feeling to them. And they are the most connected to the earth, the most connected to this physical realm. And what we see here is all of the traits in communication and action, or in the throat, are in this quarter. And this is all about how we express ourselves, how we manifest, how we connect to the earth, and where we are connected to our physical vehicle, to our form, and to life around us. So the first trait that we go into in June is progress, and this is a desire for change. The energy that this trait brings is a desire to experience something new, to see new horizons, and there's this kind of exhilarating feeling that comes with the excitement of something new and what that will bring into our lives. So what kind of change, what kind of progress will we see when we get to have this new experience? And there's this kind of yearning for, this desire for what is going to be on the other side of this new experience. And with each new experience, what happens is that you build a collection of learnings that you've gathered from each of those experiences. And the only way to really anchor into the learning of the experience is after the experience. So when we reflect back on that experience that we have had, we get to see what that experience was for, what it was here to teach us, and how did we grow, how did we progress, how did we change as a result of going through that experience. And it's really this reflection process after the experience that is essential to gain the awareness, to get the information and the insight, to get the wisdom that is rich within that experience. And once we have that learning and that wisdom, we then can share that with others. Because trait 35 is in communication and action. So it's about sharing your experience, like sharing the wisdom that you've learned, sharing everything that you went through and how that brought change into your life. And in the sharing, you have the possibility to help others in their life. One of the key elements with this particular trait is to enter into new experiences free of expectation and without worrying about the consequences. Because when we can enter into experiences with kind of this childlike wonderment of what can this experience bring to us without needing it to be a specific way, is when we really are able to be totally open to having that experience unfold in whatever way it needs to unfold for us. Next, we move into trait 45, which is gathering together. And it's all about gathering people together so that you can all live in harmony. In human design, this trait is often associated with the king or the queen. And in BG5, which is human design for business, we would associate that with being a CEO or a president of a company. And this is the person that really pulls the group together. They are the visible figurehead, and that gathering of the people together is done in a way that gets everybody to get what they need, so that they can all live or work in this harmony. And it's specifically related to material resources. So what are the material resources that we all need as a group, as a community, as a company, and how can we pull those together so that everybody gets what they need? There is this role that needs to be played out by the 45 of gathering together, and that is about overseeing the health and the success of their group and ensuring the prosperity of that group moving forward into the future. There is this reciprocal support that happens here. The figurehead supports, and in return, they are supported by their people. So it's not so much of a top-down leadership as opposed to everybody has their part to play. And when everyone feels supported from above and below, we can all pull together to bring in the material resources to ensure this prosperity moving into the future. The 45 has very much of an educational focus. It's about educating everybody under your leadership in a way that empowers the group. And because it's associated with the king or the queen, if you already have this in your design, or even if you don't, what you might find this week is this feeling of a sense of entitlement that comes with this position. This feeling of, I deserve this or that. So it'd just be interesting to see if that does show up for you. We then move into trait 12, which is caution. And this is being in the mood to be social or not. So when you are not in the mood, you are going to exercise this caution. So there's this waiting for the right timing, for this feeling of receptivity, for this real feeling of being in the mood. And when you feel that, when the mood feels good and all the pieces are in play, you get to speak in a very unique and transformative way. And it's not so much about the words that you choose to use, but it's about that tonal frequency that transmits the message. And this carries the potential to impact, to transform, and to mutate the other through words. So both the previous trait that I spoke about, trait 45, which is the voice of I have or I have not. So it's the one tribal voice in the whole of the human design system. Trait 12 Trait 12 is the individual voice. So individuality is very unique. It's very mutative, it's very transformative, and it has this potential to mutate and transform the other in the process. Next, we have diversity, and this is the love of humanity or not. When we look at humanity, we really have all these extremes that exist, and we either love all of those extremes, we love all of that diversity, or we don't. And when you can bring this ability to accept and to find a place in society for this full spectrum of behavior, this is essential for life moving forward, because for new life, for the ultimate preservation of humanity as a species, we actually need diversity. We need these extremes. And what this trait can bring for you this week when it's around is really loving the extremes of your own rhythms and accepting the extremes of others without judgment. So it can really open us up to not everyone's the same, and people do things really differently. And having acceptance for that rather than pushing it away because it's not the same as you. This energy can also help to break us out of fixed rhythms and patterns. And that can either be detrimental in the sense that it's very destabilizing because you're so used to those fixed rhythms and patterns, and it kind of brings this flow to your life. Or it can actually be very healthy for you because you may be stuck in a rhythm or pattern that's very unhealthy and it's not correct for you. And this energy of diversity can literally come and shake up any fixed rhythms or patterns and get you to shift into something else. The last trait that we are going to see in the month of June is stillness. And this is the raw power to concentrate. So this stillness brings this ability to sit still and to concentrate. And it provides this beautiful spaciousness and this opportunity to assess. And then, once you've assessed, really focusing your energy in a very specific way. There's so much power in silence. And so when stillness is around, I would encourage you to pause before speaking and pause before acting. Pause can move us from the busyness of life and allow us to almost take a little bit more of a back seat, to take a few steps backwards from that busyness. And this enables us to see more of the bigger picture. And once we get that perspective, rather than just being in the busyness, it helps us to know what to focus on, what to bring our attention to. So if you have this stillness, but you don't know what to focus on, there can be this little bit of this disconnect that happens and the sense of a little bit of melancholy because you feel like you can be still, but you don't know what to focus on. So I'd encourage you to just bring some more stillness, some more pause into your life and allow what you need to focus on to emerge in its own right timing. So that's the month of June, where we move from progress to gathering together, and that should say 45 and not 5, caution, diversity, and stillness. So 35, 45, and 12 are all in communication and action. So there's a lot of expression and this bringing forth of something into action and into form in the first 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks of June. And then we move into diversity, which is all about our identity and our direction in life. And then the last week of June, we're going to be in this stillness, which has a way of kind of bringing a format across all of the traits in the chart because it's part of a format strength in design. If you have any questions about these traits, or you would like to dive a little bit deeper into understanding either your human design or your BG5, which is human design for business, then please reach out and let me know. Until next month, I hope you have an awesome month. Bye for now.